Hey guys, the way that this video is going to work is I'm going to show you a bunch of different clips of when I go for the poke check, and then I'm going to slow it down for you guys so you can better understand my positioning and when I choose to go for the poke check. Then towards the end of the video I'm going to break down a few clips even further so you guys can better understand how to poke check properly and when to do so. So I think poke checking is one of my greatest strengths in the NHL series. I received many messages after the game was over against top players that tell me just how irritating my poke check is. So I want to get you guys to around the same kind of level with this video. I think if you guys see the proper way of doing these poke checks multiple times, like over the course of 10 minutes, you'll understand it better. So in this case, I go for a hit and I realize I'm not going to get this puck. He's going to get it. So that's why I immediately go for a poke check, and it happens to stop in place for my other player to pick it up. This next clip's going to show off my suffocating defense. He's going to get the puck and go into my zone, even though I win the faceoff, but that's not of importance, even though I choked the pass. But my computers are back checking right here. He has nowhere to go, so I was ready, waiting for the puck to be pushed in front of him before I went for the poke check. At first I was thinking he might go for a shot, but he decided not to go for that, so that's why I moved in forward, poke checked, stole the puck away from him, and that is that. This next clip is pretty great because I get caught out of position with my defender controlling him. And so what do? I anticipate a pass by poking the puck mid-flight. And then I make another great play by putting my stick down, causing him to lose the puck. And then I go into his zone and snipe it. So what I was trying to do here is block the pass back to the defender. But when I got caught out of position, I try to move back into position. And at the same time, I pressed forward towards the puck carrier in case he was going to take a shot. And I noticed that he was going to pass it, so it was just a bunch of quick reflexes to get that poke check there. One of my favorite times to poke check is when there's a loose puck that I know I'm kind of not really going to grab, because in this case, he could have grabbed it just as easily as I could. It adds kind of a dynamic to the game because you don't know what's going to happen when you poke check the puck. The thing is, I'm ready when I poke it, and he's not. He thinks he's going to have the puck. And it kind of just worked out in my favor there, where my guy was ready to get the puck again and shoot it and score. In these clips, I need you guys to watch how far I am away from the person when I do the poke check. Watch my body positioning, like which direction I am facing when I poke check, and when I choose to poke check. In this case, I didn't get possession of the puck with my poke checks, but I forced an offside, which is something that I love to do with poke checking. I think in the second half of this clip, I could have gone for a hit as well instead of a poke, but I prefer pokes over any other form of defense. Most games that I play, you'll notice that I don't have that many hits, if any at all. Sometimes I might even have 0 hits. Poke checking is just a much safer way of playing the game if you know how to do it. And before stick lifts, I used to just run into people and just follow them and hope that their puck hits off my skate so I could steal it from them. But that's a different video. In this case, I just love to sit along the blue line and have you come in just so I can poke it and make you go offside. In this case, it was just keeping you in the neutral zone. Then there's a face-off, and you might have possession of the puck again. This clip starts off with a nice one-timer, and he makes a save, and I'm sad. Otherwise, as soon as he gets the puck, that's when he's the most vulnerable, so I was able to poke check it away from him almost instantaneously. While it didn't lead to anything, it's still a pretty good poke check that I made that you guys can see one more time right here. Boom! You got it. It's a poke check. This next clip coming up is going to be another instance where I force you offside because I'm controlling a player along the blue line. And the great thing about this is if you do a little move before the blue line and you have an AI next to you, that AI might go offside before you can even get into the offensive zone. And it's one of my signature defensive moves to force you offside. This next play is going to be an interesting one because I have the puck before I go for the poke check. I make a really weird pass that I didn't mean to do, but as soon as I saw that the puck was going to the opponent, I was ready to poke that and get this breakaway goal. Players are at their most vulnerable when they just pick up the puck because the stick is so far away from the body that it's impossible to trip the person if you do it right. Or I guess if you set it up right. Off the face-off here in the next play, I was scaring him a little bit with my poke checks. He was making some nice stick handles to protect the puck away, but if he ever moved back towards me, it was kind of like a preemptive poke check where I would have been able to steal the puck away from him as he's moving into me. In the second part of the play here, I do a total of 3 poke checks, and the second one was completely unnecessary because I was very far away from the person, while the third one was enough to force the offside. So let's look at this first part here again, where I'm being conservative because I'm choosing what times to poke check. I'm not spamming the poke check at all. I look at where the puck is and decide whether or not I should go for the poke check so that I don't go for his skates instead. And then in the second play here, I'm a little bit to his side, and I'm going to get burned by him. So I go for a poke check to try to make him lose the puck, and this second poke check was completely unnecessary. I was too far behind him to get anything going there. And then the third one, I'm able to poke check it as he's coming into my zone because he runs pretty much right into me. And now there's going to be an awesome play right here where I'm going to poke a loose puck, and it's going to lead to great things. I'm down 4-3, which makes this play even better since I'm losing. I want you guys to note that if they do not have the puck, you have no chance of tripping them, which could be something that's changed in a future NHL, but for now, you're free to do that until they touch the puck. The other thing that I want to mention right now is that there are 2 attributes that determine how well you poke check. It's the discipline attribute and the stick checking attribute. Players with lower stats may not stick check where you want them to, while players with higher stats may allow you to get away with a little bit more and might surprise you with how you poke check. In this clip, I surprised my opponent when he passes it out and he immediately gets the puck. I'm able to get 2 quick poke checks. When I missed the third one, I immediately switched players, and unfortunately, this last poke check worked out in his favor since he was able to get the puck back, and then I had to try to block the passing lane. Let's watch him again one more time, even the second one, which was kind of like a small poke check. Weirdly enough, they both went towards the goalie, so the goalie was able to make like 2 saves right there. And then in the second part, upon closer inspection, I noticed that I poke checked this puck twice, and the second time I poke checked it towards him. So that's why you don't want to be spamming the poke check button, because that's what's going to end up happening. In this next clip, he's going to make a terrible pass, and the puck is going to go back all the way into his zone, and he's going to try to break out. And I predicted where he was going to go, so I was able to get this poke check. And then another one for good measure since I wasn't able to get the puck, and then a nice goal by waiting him out. You guys do have to be a little bit more careful when it comes to someone who stick handles a lot. I tend to stick to people's forehand side so that they don't take a pretty devastating shot in my zone that ends up probably being a high percentage shot. But if someone ends up pulling back with their stick handles, then it's best to just leave them be or go for a hit instead, because they'll be a lot slower when they stick handle. Okay, so starting with this clip, I'm going to start breaking it down even further. You guys saw me do a quick poke check in my zone there, and then I try to do a deke. I end up missing, and then he makes a weird pass, and right there I make a poke check. And when I'm right next to him, I decide I'm not going to poke check and instead go for a stick lift, and it leads to a goal. Breaking this down in instant replay, you can see the distance between me and him when I go for the poke check, and when I'm right next to him, somehow he ends up getting possession of this puck, even though the puck is right behind him, but that's okay. Right here, I cannot go for the poke check. I go for a stick lift instead to take the puck away from him, because it's pretty much my only choice. I can't do anything else from this position to try to take the puck away from him. And stick lifts we might go over again in the future in another video, but I don't have that much to talk about them. Just that's like one of the times that you can stick lift. Next clip, again, note the distance between me and the opponent and when I go for the poke check. This is a good, acceptable distance, because no matter how much times I poke check, I will not get his skate. I mean, unless you're playing as Chara, who has a really long stick, and you're able to poke check really far away. You can even see that I missed my first poke check, and it does not go as far as his skate. So this is an acceptable time to go for the poke check. And then in this example, it's a great series of poke checks that eventually lead to a turnover. You have to watch both the distance and the angle that I come from for this poke check along the boards. Right here, this is good enough. His body is away from the puck so that I'm able to poke check right about here. It causes him to lose the puck, and then, of course, his other player rushing over here is going to get it, pass it back to him, but I shall not be denied, and I go for another one. When I switch players, get in front of him a little bit, and then go for the other poke check. That guy on the right didn't have anything to do with it. I was just trying to switch players before going for the poke check. I think he goes for a stick lift, too. That's not even my doing. And then he loses the puck, and it goes to me. So hopefully, guys, with a video like this, you guys can be much better at poke checking and make sure that this is your primary method of defense. Feel free to rewatch the video, maybe mute the volume so you don't have to listen to me again, but watch it with like your favorite music so that you can familiarize yourself and get more comfortable with these different situations where you'd go for a poke check and how you'd go for a poke check. Remember not to go for a poke check from behind unless you're closest to the puck and the puck carrier's body is far away from the puck. Hope this helps you guys, and I'll see you around.